The setup, how it works.
Oh, yeah.
Well, sit down. Get your
Got it
phone.
in
Thank you,
there.
Miguel, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Are you ready, Miguel?
Yes.
Okay. I have to
Go
wait
ahead,
for
Ruben.
it.
Oh,
Okay.
for
Proceed-
the camera,
proceed
can we
with
let them
public
know
comment.
what day is it and time, or what meeting,
Oh, yeah.
for the recording?
Oh, sure, sure. Good evening, again. This is a partial, this is the beginning of our intermediate meeting through our executive committee meeting. Today is May the 31st. The time is 6:08, and we've already heard items 1, 2, 3, and at the moment, we're currently on item number 4, which is general public comment. And we will offer Ruben Chavez 3 minutes.
Recognize that he made a point. That the doctor made a point.
He did speak during public comment already.
Yes, but you didn't record it.
I'm not
I
gonna
don't
repeat
care
it.
about
Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat it.
Okay,
It was his public
it
comment.
isn't, that's not the issue of what you care. It's the right thing to do. And I'm not gonna get smarty pants with you, Doc. Okay, this is for you, Cynthia, you're the recording secretary?
No, I'm the
Correspondence.
Corresponding, I'm sorry. I get my verbiage messed up. This is another copy for you, and this is for the executive board. This is the copy for you, and this is for the executive board. This is a copy for you, and this is for the executive board.
Let me get that, please.
I ask the executive board to review these carefully, and please follow the course that needs to be followed on them regarding our bylaws.
Can you tell us what they are, Cynthia,
Yeah.
or?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, these are the copies of his emails to us and regarding the 3 grievances. This is a petition to censure our president, Mr. Manzano. This is signatures that are also
Those are copies.
copies.
Yeah.
This is the grievances that he's bringing them to us in person. These are gonna be filed in the executive board. And PRA submitted and waiting, which are the Public Records Act.
Can I get my copy? He said he brought his copies, no?
Yeah, there's copies in each folder for each one of the
Yeah, I'll get them
execs.
right now.
Okay.
I'll give them to you right now, just 1 second. So, Mr. Chavez, you're free to begin.
Well, he still has 1 minute and 30 seconds left, go ahead. I'm not interrupting.
Please just pass this.
I know we're setting a precedence here for ours in terms of what I'm submitting, and I implore this committee
The
to,
extra ones were elected, so they don't-
really see it through and follow through, and I hope that what I'm submitting gets accomplished to what I written there, okay? That's about it,
Thank you very much.
yeah. And I'm a stakeholder,
Yes.
past board member of LA 32 for about 8 or 9 years, something like that.
Pass them around.
So I know what I'm talking about, this is nothing new. Okay, Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Stop and reset. Okay, we're still on our public comment period. Item number 4, is there any further public comments? Item number 4. Oh, you're holding. Seeing no further public comments, item number 4 is closed. We now move to item number 5 on the agenda. Item number 5 is an opportunity for the committee members here to give announcements. So I'll start with my right. Miguel Vargas, do you have any announcements this evening?
No announcements, no.
Michelle, do you have any announcements this evening?
Yes, I have the projector, LA 32 projector, to project the draft of what June 7th agenda would look like. I thought it would be something good for our community who's sitting down watching, transparency, so they can see exactly what number is gonna be what. I have extra flash drive to give to any one of you who can have once we vote, so we're not blindly voting, just, voting. We're gonna actually right now lively see as we go what the agenda is gonna look like, and it reads draft on it because it's not the actual agenda yet, it's just a draft of what June 7th would look like, and we, since we are the officers who do prepare the agenda, we get to, look at it, vote, and approve as we're seeing it. That's just the announcement I want to make. I just thought it would be easier for the executive officers to see them.
Thank you. Do you have any announcements,
Um,
Cynthia?
Yeah, just what I reached out to you about in regards to LA 32, being a part of the post-parade celebration. And because we are not asking for any funding, I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to set up our canopy and all of that there. We have order in for some branding items, so hopefully those will arrive by then. But that's my announcement. I really want to be a part of LA 30, of the post parade event at the park.
And that's for June 24th?
That's June 24th, correct?
Okay. Anything further?
No, not at this time.
Oh, do you have the other third copy that Mr. Chavez brought for us? There's only two.
Not yet, not yet.
Okay.
I was in the middle of my announcement. I'll give it right to you in 1 second. Yes, I'm done. I don't have any other
Okay.
comments.
The only announcement that I'd like to mention is that we've had an escalation or spike in crime recently. The police department is aware, a lot of community members are aware, and we're gonna be needing the community's input, vigilance, and maybe observations of what they see to be called into the police. It's very important that we take active measures in reducing the crime and the negative elements that are in the community. It has impacted us. We've had multiple shootings, we've had several drive-bys, and it's even extending from other communities coming to our area, which does create an extreme safety concern for those victims and also for the public at large. So look forward to the police department being more present, and hopefully the stakeholders and board members are doing what we can to reduce and curb the violence that's occurring in our communities. And I don't have any further announcements. Any last thing from the executive officers for announcements?
Oh, just what's going on Facebook right now about those two young ladies. They finally caught their murder.
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to
Good
say that I'm
police
very
work.
happy for their family.
Item number 5 is now closed. We now move to item number 6. Item number 6 is an indication of discussion and possible action that the stakeholders approached during the April General Board meeting to request for the area between Maycrest and Van Horn, where we just recently had the memorial ceremony where the flag is, to be named Veterans Plaza. Is there any stakeholders wishing to speak on that, because it is on the agenda? Tom?
Yep. The total area from Van Horn to Maycrest is too much.
Okay.
And I would highly recommend that you restrict it from Van Horn to basically the crosswalk at Lifford,
Okay.
because that forms one continuous body. If you try to extend it to Maycrest, then there's a huge area in there that doesn't have anything that's usable as any sort of public access.
Correct.
So, might say, have something down at the other end, Maycrest, but might say the west end should be reserved for, okay, Veterans Plaza. And we need more mulch on it,
Okay.
that's all.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ruben.
As the president of the El Sereno Veterans Monument Committee, I also support the doctor's opinion on this matter, because it is too long, too far in terms for asking security, whether it's LAPD or whatever type of security, to protect the rest of all that long in the event something should occur while we're having some kind of doings at the monument itself. It'll be twice a year, okay, this month and November, okay, and it should be confined to a certain area. As far as I'm concerned, the monument is not completed yet. We still have to make like a little wall, so we place all 5 of the flags of the branches of the United States military. That's what's missing. The big emphasis was to get what we got now, and you see how well it went this year. It was even on video. I watched it on video because I couldn't come. And so it's getting better. And I kudos to the Vice President, Jenny, you know, for putting on such a good performance that's there for the veterans, all the flags and all the things and what have you. So we still got a little ways to go on that construction. It's gonna take more time, a few more years. Hopefully we'll get it done.
Thank you for your efforts on putting the monument together, Ruben. Anything further?
No, that's it. Thank you.
More, I'm just putting right down more construction to come.
Yeah, but I definitely support his opinion. He's very right.
Do we have any additional public comment for item number 6? Do you have any board members' discussion for item number 6?
Yes. What is does the median have a name right now?
It does not,
So
no.
people just call it the Veterans Monument? People say,
Right.
hey, let's meet at the Veterans Monument?
Correct, but the way I understand it, the monument is just specifically to the monument and
And
the
the
flagpole.
flagpole is for somebody else.
It is city property, but not Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's considered a median. And
Yes.
so to make it a plaza, so first off, if we decide we want to, this would just be our recommendation, the city still has to recognize it as a plaza. And once you call something a plaza, it has a different, then it no longer is a median. Is that right?
Basically, it's whatever Quasar wants to pay for.
Yeah. And there is
Because
a master plan.
CD 14 will have to pay for it.
And there's a master plan for the development of that site, right, that calls for the wall and the,
We had a master plan, we have a master plan, but the emphasis was to focus what we have now. Okay, and we wanted to do it with this councilman because he's on his last term. And of course, they have a lot of expenses and never enough money for the projects they want. So we were very grateful to him that he went out of his way, which he did, to put up what we got, okay? The rest will, hopefully we can get it down.
yeah. So I think that it's maybe a little too premature to call it a plaza, it still just is a median. So and there's not even funding to develop it into a plaza, so maybe let's just hold off on naming it anything at all. And I think the reason this is on the agenda is because somebody came before us and they wanted to call it the Sanctuary City Plaza or something, right? Those guys from last time? And then someone else offered up, well, if you're gonna call it that, call it the Veterans Plaza. And so I think it's appropriate at this time to not even call it anything.
Well, that's why it's sort of in quotations there, because they're not sure what we could call it. We could decide to name it Veterans Square, Veterans Mall, Veterans Park, Veterans Plaza, Veterans
I think-
Turnpike. It's just something to commemorate the memorial monument, and they're not here to speak on it, but this is not established that it will be or is Veterans Plaza. It's just a sort of an indicator.
This is a good discussion that we're having, but if we're gonna call it something, it has to be, the conversation has to be greater than just the 7 people in this room.
I have an interject on that. Whatever it's called, I hope it's called, named after a GI of whatever branch of the highest award that person got while in service, whether that person got it alive or gave his life for that, and then that award was presented to the family. The other thing would like not to see that the monument is not named after the name that's on the flagpole. The name on the flagpole, that person was born in where I was born, over there at 5 Points. What's that area called? CD 14.
Cinco Puntos.
Yeah, but what's that community called?
Obregon, oh, that's Boyle Heights.
Boyle Heights, okay? They have a project been going on for the last 20-some years, close to 30, to redevelop that whole Cinco Puntos, including moving that monument that's there. But that place is right there with those big silos, is holding up on what they want to sell the property for, and they're gonna name that all complex when it gets going to the name that's on our flagpole, that we're recognizing that person and it's gonna be named. So we should not name ours after him, but he deserves what he's getting over
I have
there.
a question. Do you know the name of it? Because I'm not familiar with the name.
He's a Mexican American.
Is that Obregon? Obregon? Yeah. So there's a good valid point that maybe it could be named after a veteran or someone who lost
From
their
some
life.
LA
From
32.
LA 32 area. So I think there's so many different ideas and directions we could go into. Let's not discuss this, let's not take this up right now because there's not even any plans to fund it. And I say we just leave it be for right now. The timing's not right to name it anything.
but it has to have beginning somewhere, and it starts with you folks.
Ruben, one moment.
I'm sorry.
Is there any other executive members who wish to weigh in on this discussion? Item number 6. Anything else? I would just like to mention that I like your input, Ruben. I believe it's appropriate and proper that we recognize an individual. Obviously someone who's deserving, and we could call it whatever name is on there, Veteran Square, or I know I was there at the event. The county supervisor, Hilda Solis, did recognize Guy Gabaldon for his efforts, and we could consider him, or perhaps pick someone local in the community specific. So is there anything further for item number 6? If not, we'll table it and continue the discussion for next month.
Gabaldon's gonna have his at 5 points,
No,
the
I
whole
don't-
thing.
I just have one suggestion, even if we're
Yes,
gonna
Cynthia?
table it, can we add "or like" to
Yeah,
that?
absolutely,
So
that's
that it could
right.
be
That's what
a little bit more broad, so it's not just Veterans Plaza?
Right, it
And
can
then
be Veterans
we have
Square,
a discussion about it later on
Veterans
down the
Mall.
line.
So I don't think we
Veterans
should
Park.
table it for a future agenda item, because we're gonna, there's no point, because we're not gonna decide anything this month, next month, or the month after. It should be taken off the agenda, and when it's appropriate, put it back on.
What
Okay, but-
committee would handle this?
It would be
One moment,
both.
Ruben, one moment.
I'm sorry.
You have
I
to give us,
apologize.
Yes.
you have to give us an
The
opportunity.
idea that is on the agenda is so that we do have discussion, and so that stakeholders can weigh in, those who brought it to our attention, and if they want to speak on it next month, I don't know why anyone would say, well, we're not going to decide on it next month. We don't know. Unless an officer makes a motion to say, we don't want this, then there's action, or we will take a position.
So I think
But just to say, we don't want to talk about it after the public has said we do, it's a disservice to the stakeholders.
So again, it's a little premature, it's our
Assign it to
decision,
a committee.
it's our decision, this is the committee, executive committee, right, where it came to, so I
Correct.
think it's premature to talk about this, it's a good idea
So
that somebody brought up,
Right.
but I'd like to make a motion to remove it from the agenda. And I can make a comment, I can speak to that at the next meeting, but again, it's premature to be talking about this right now. We don't know what the timeline is for the development of the median, we don't know if there's funding for it, we don't
You're
know.
100% correct, but if you don't talk about it,
I would
you're
say
not
that.
gonna find the answers to
And
that.
that's the best thing to do, is to have it on the agenda so we can talk about it. So when
Absolutely.
the funding comes, the plans come, the master plan comes,
We're not
whatever
making, you
comes.
guys are not making a decision now anyway, you're just, that's it. But it's gotta have a beginning.
Thank you, Ruben. You're right on it. Well, yes, thank you. Well, I did hear a motion from Miguel that he suggests to remove it. Is there anything further? Item number 6 will remain on the agenda and it'll be just tabled
Or
for
are you
next
waiting for a
month.
second?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Let me put down the shot here. And now that we have a motion to remove the item from the agenda, is there stakeholder input? Specifically on just removing it, not
Right.
about the name or nothing?
Right.
Just about what you heard Mr. Miguel and
That
Michelle
makes sense to me.
And go ahead, Ruben.
I think that if you remove it, you're removing the public, the constituents' ability to start somewhere, any kind of discussion that will lead to something productive. I agree in terms of what the vice president is, in his comments, he's very right. But if you kill it here and now, where do people like me and the rest of you that live here, that you're El Serenians and you care about this, and you care about your monument, and you kill it here for the development, as I told you, we're still not done with that thing. And if you kill conversation from our standpoint, to me, then what the heck is that LA 32 NC for?
So
Thank you, Ruben.
the
Is there
stakeholder
anything
needs.
Let me ask if there's any further stakeholders that want to give input. Anything further from the stakeholders? Yes, Mr. Pacheco?
Yeah, I guess the question for me is how it came before the board and then how it got to the executive committee. And now the executive committee decides to, I guess, table it. When you table an item, it takes, once again, a consideration of motion from the committee to bring it back up, which is different than postponing it to a specific date. So I'm just, my concern is, for the veterans that we owe so much to, our liberty and everything we've ever done in this country. At what point are we gonna give them the respect to at least try to find some kind of land. I can understand that the vice president says that because it's called a plaza, it goes into another area in terms of consideration. But I think that it would be part of the responsibility of the committee to find out what would be an appropriate name for that veteran slash, okay? And so I think that's where the committee should really be putting its efforts to find out what to call it as it remains on the meridian right now. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anything further from the stakeholders? The public has an opportunity to weigh in.
How about you, Doc?
Nope.
At this time, we'll ask the officers, anything that they want to weigh in. We do have a motion from Miguel and a second by Michelle, so they spoke, so I'm going to ask maybe Cynthia next, and then we could go back to Miguel and Michelle. Cynthia, do you have anything you'd like to weigh in on?
Well, I say that when they came to us at the public meeting we had, general board, it was there that we first heard the idea. We just posted it for over, 30 hours or something like that, and people that are interested to see that on the agenda probably saw it already, so I would say let's not take it off the agenda, but possibly postpone it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, thank you. So, Miguel, do you have anything you want to weigh in on?
Just Mr. Chavez here, he's from the organization that helped start the monument, so he spoke about there needs to be a discussion. So let that discussion happen within his organization, let them figure out what they want to call it, and then they can bring that to the neighborhood council.
That will be, that process, you're right.
Thank you. Michelle, do you have anything you want to discuss on?
I'm just doing a second because if it was referred to us, then we should have either done, I don't know, not a town hall, a more open meeting posted. You as a chair, we should have reached out to the community and say, hey, you put this to the executive committee. Let's find out, what do you want to call it? What do you want to call it? None of us four here did anything. We just put it on the agenda and waited for the next month and waited for the next month. Who is supposed to do something? Is it me, you, Cynthia, Miguel? So since no one did anything, either it goes to a committee, but then it is here in a committee and no one did nothing, or give it to a committee that's gonna do something, but all committees are already doing something. So I think the committee that Mr. Chavez is in should come up with a great idea, and maybe we can co-sponsor for an event to buy beverages so they can weigh in community, and then they come up with a name, and we can help them bring the name, and then we bring it back here to the executive committee, and then take it to the general board. But for us, 7, 8 people here to just decide on a name?
No.
Okay.
I would like to add just real quick,
One-
all the executive officers in our committee are all military, or their families are military.
Ruben, thank you. And we're gonna, I know this is a much lenient and very informal meeting compared to the general board meetings, but we just have to just follow practice and protocol.
Thank you.
Did you want to weigh in a little bit more?
It's just an point of order in the terms of setting an agenda. If this was already old business, it is up to the board to decide whether to take it off or not the executive committee. If this was, if it's, because it says here, old business. If this was an item that had been previously put on an agenda at the general board, so
No.
that's not what this means.
No, sir, no.
So why did it become old business?
It was old business because this was placed on the agenda at the April executive committee meeting, and at that time, I believe it was Miguel Vargas said they didn't want to hear it also, so it just rolled over to today. But it's never been presented to the general board.
Okay. Thank God.
So we'll now take a vote to remove the, Miguel Vargas has a motion to remove the item from the agenda, seconded by Michelle. We did take public comment on this, and we'll take a hand vote since it's a non-funding item. Those in favor of removing item number 6 from the executive committee agenda, please raise your hand. Those opposed removing it, please raise your hand. And those abstaining, raise your hand. That tabulation is 2-1-1 and does not have a majority of the 4. So item number 6 will be carried over to next month's executive committee meeting, just to allow for discussion, and perhaps more stakeholders will be here. And perhaps maybe, which is good input from the officers here, is maybe your committee, Mr. Chavez, can realize that this is occurring, go back to the Veterans Monument Committee, think of a nice name, and bring that forward to us, and on behalf of serving our military, maybe we'll definitely consider it.
I think the name is going to take some time. You may have to roll this over
Exactly.
several
But
times.
I'm glad it's on the
Because we
agenda.
have to go to the
Yes.
federal to find out the GIs from here and
Thank you,
then what
Ruben.
they've
Yes.
earned or
Yes.
presented to them.
So item number 6 is closed and will also be placed on next month's executive committee agenda. We now move to item number 7, which is new business. And it says discussion and possible action that LA 32 Neighborhood Council purchases a laptop carrying case for the corresponding secretary that would not exceed $200. I believe her laptop has been issued to her. And what I'm gonna do is allow the vice president to conduct the meeting at this time. I have to excuse myself. I have another obligation to be at. So we'll leave it item number 7. And Miguel, you can
Okay.
continue chairing the meeting at this time.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7, new business, discussion and possible action that LA 32 purchase a laptop carrying case for the corresponding secretary not to exceed $200. Would somebody like to make a motion to move this forward?
I'd like to move that motion, please. I'm sorry for stepping away from the table.
Okay. Cynthia would make a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Okay. Item is moved forward, let's open this up to public comment. Is there any public comments on this item? Item number 7, any public comment on, comments on item 7? Any board discussion
Yes, what item do you want to put it on the agenda? What number should we give it?
on the agenda?
The draft agenda, the June 7th draft
Let's
agenda.
go to the first one.
Because if you roll your eyes here to here in the projector, this is a draft, once again, of what it would look like on June 7th. And if you see it, June 7th, obviously it starts with the date, the time, and so forth. And then you scroll up and we start with the welcome, the Pledge of Allegiance, the roll call, general board comment, president's report. This is the president's report, which if you look at May 2nd, he has that as his president's report on there
Does he need to do that again?
for the vacancy that we have.
Filling of the vacancies.
I suggest that we add all that language so it protects us that we're filling in a seat. It's bylaws. It's quoting our bylaws that it's filling in a seat on the South Regency. So if anybody's confused about what's going on, what order are you filling in, they're looking at it on their agenda, and of course, we'll be projecting this.
Okay, but
When
we
they-
just jumped out of our motion, so
So that would be President's report, then number 7, obviously that's when they're doing all of that. Old business, so out of the old business, if you look at the agenda from the last time, number 14, which was the lamp, should no longer be there, correct? Isn't that correct?
right. 'Cause
Wait,
they
wait,
came already
can we
did
stop for a minute? This item 7, do we have to approve this, or we're just saying?
Yeah, we as the executive have to approve it and give it a number on this
so
general
that the
board
general board
agenda.
can vote on it.
So let's.
So it'll be new business, it'll be down here. It'll be down here to new business.
So you want it to be the first
So do
item?
you want it to be the first item, or do you want it to be the Preserve LA, which is also gonna be on this agenda today that we're gonna vote? Or do
I
you,
suggest
Let's have it be the first new item of business, or the first item of new business.
Is that the only,
new business? No,
no,
the
the only presentation we're
It's
having?
right-
Because we don't wanna, remember when we were saying we don't wanna make those people wait that
the
come?
presentation so far
It's just the one, right?
is just that one, right there, number 21.
Okay,
That's the only presentation that would go in new business.
all right, so if we,
So then do you wanna move up that one that, that we're discussing?
so make it 21 and then change the others?
You tell me, what do you
I
you
don't-
guys want? Cause right now it's on number, where is it at?
I can't really give you a comment, an answer, because I don't know what else is on the agenda. I'd have to read it again. So let's just throw it up.
Do you wanna look at them all and vote as a section, or do you wanna vote each one?
I think each one is the best.
Okay, cause I mean, we've done it different in the past. We've done it in sections, or we've done it by item, however you guys want. It doesn't matter.
And you would do a calendar type, you would actually
Yeah.
do one whole
Calendar.
section. Yeah, but I think that it should be one by one, because she already found a mistake, that the 14 shouldn't be there any longer. So I think we should do one by one, that's my suggestion.
So here it is, right now it's on it would be number 27, and that's not including what all the committees are gonna bring in today, okay? These are the things that executive officers emailed.
So what happens is that at every meeting, we don't get to the things at the very end. And a lot of times the things at the very end are just essential things for operations, right? Like we need ink, we need a carrying case, we need all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
So all the way we should probably organize
Put
the
the
agenda.
committee's stuff first, right?
Anything that needs immediate, any funding item that is doesn't require a lot of discussion should be put at the beginning of new business. So if it's like $150 for ink, well, that's a no-brainer, right? We should be able to, what happens is we get caught up on the other items that take a long time to discuss. And so let's put the items that we think we can get through quickly at the very beginning, so where no one's like stuck, like I can't print because I didn't get any ink, or I can't carry the computer around. So let's put all of these, I say the way we organize it is the first few items of new business should always be kind of operations items that we need, funding items that.
Consent items,
Consent items. So we could even approve them all together at once, can't we? As a consent calendar?
At the executive committee here, yeah, but at the general board it has to go item by
One
item.
by one?
Yeah.
We can't approve like 5 at a time, and we say these are all the consent items,
No, because,
their funding?
what if one person feels different about one of the items and doesn't feel the same about all
All
five
of them, yeah, so then one of them will get kicked off and we won't be able to hear that one again.
So all the kind of operation ones, let's put those at the very beginning. So
Okay.
this one item.
So right now,
7,
this is how the new business would look. We're gonna leave that discussion on there, right? That one on there, the LA preserves, right? And we have the
We're
drafted,
gonna leave that, but we need to renumber it.
yeah, and that's the draft letter here.
But he's saying that all of the ones that are 23, 24, 25, all of those that need to be purchased for operational purposes, they should all go first.
Before 21?
Yes.
But then, didn't we not want these people to present to wait
No,
that
but it
long?
would be right, because this is gonna be fast. I mean, you're just gonna read the motion and we're gonna vote.
Yeah, so now this item here, 21, should be, it's in the wrong section. It
Okay.
should be in presentations.
So then,
The presentation from Coalition.
That goes to the very top.
That should be at the very top.
so then that should be
We have
right here,
it. Yes.
on number 7.
Yes.
So after all the government people and them do their stuff,
Yes.
Then you
budget.
would put,
after the approval of the
D?
minutes,
11.
yeah, you would make a D section
where do you want me to put them?
right after.
It's
We're gonna
before
move
the-
that
it's
one,
under
which
the
is,
presentations. So presentations,
So
you
you're
got
gonna copy
A, B,
and
C.
paste that one over.
It's
This
not
guy
a
right here.
So it would be D. We would create a
You
new
create a
item.
D, and it would
I
be,
don't know if any of you
Right
guys
after
do
that,
it.
so
I'll be running
open,
after
there you
that,
go.
you
So it
guys.
would be D. And you're doing wonderful.
Oh, thank you. So now this one will be letter D.
I'm amazed.
And I'll change it right now to D, sorry about that. It'll say D right now. There you go.
there you go.
And we don't have an E.
No,
Okay.
as of yet, we don't have,
And we take it out down here, right?
right, remove
Okay.
it from there.
And you, okay,
So then the first new item of business should be this item here, item that's on the executive committee, the $200 for the laptop carrying case.
Are we allowed to speak or no?
No.
so then the laptop
No
case will be
motion.
the next one? Okay,
You see the
where are
copy
we at?
paste
Where is the laptop case? Right there. So 26 is gonna go up, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so once you do that one, then let's stop because we still have a motion on the floor.
Correct, because we're gonna vote for it to be here on number 21. I mean, number 21, correct? Sorry, my carpal turner's not doing too good. There we go. There you go.
Okay, so back to the executive committee agenda. We are on new business item 7. We have a motion to discuss this item, and we open this up to public comment. Is there any public comment on item 7?
Didn't see item 7.
Discussion and possible action, the LA 32 purchase a laptop carrying case for corresponding secretary not to exceed $200.
So what's
Mr.
the,
hold on here, we got a comment in the back. Yes.
Yeah, I think that before you start making all these moves, you should look into the setting of agendas from one meeting to another. New business from a previous meeting.
that's not part of the issue here.
No, because it is, it has to, what do you, is he gonna rule or what?
No, go on, speak, continue.
Okay.
I think the discussion should match
It matches because of the fact that it's a motion to be placed on the agenda. The agenda is what is being done tonight. This motion should go in the same order as it was put in previous agendas. You don't take them out of line.
But
You
it's
have to-
not, this is not this is a draft. It hasn't been presented to anybody.
Cynthia, he's making his public comment.
I'm just saying, again, if it has already been placed in a previous agenda, it must go in that same order. The old business goes, the new business. Which should be done is you eliminate anything that was already taken care of in the last agenda. Then all those other items are your old business in that order. It is to the board to decide what order to reorganize it again. Yours is only to put the agenda together, and that's based on the information that's coming in, but not the order of the agenda. The order of the agenda has already been going through the process. If you can understand what I'm talking about.
He thinks it's old business, that's an easy.
Can
Thank you
I,
for your,
can
thank you for your
I
comment.
respond to him?
No, but you can, you can.
Okay, I'll
Well, hold on,
respond
we're
to-
still,
Oh,
we're still, we're just hearing public comment, so we heard his, okay? Is there any other public comment? Yes.
It just so happens that Mr. Pacheco is correct in what it's alleging. I somehow didn't agree with his statement, even though he's right of his statement, that it has anything to do with number 7. Because the discussion is about buying a case for the laptop, a carrying case, okay? And it doesn't insinuate anything else but that. Even though I agree with what he said, I don't see it, how it correlates, how you want to attach it to that, because there's nothing here in black and white indicating that. And also,
Sorry.
I'm waiting, that's okay.
No, continue, go on.
Okay, so in terms of the 200 for that, hopefully that will be enough, depending on what type of carrying case, that will meet the needs of not only the present person that needs this, but future other people, because these things last for several years, even though you tug them along. One that has different options, different types of use. Don't buy just a real skinny one. I would suggest to you to allow the 200 so that they have a leeway to buy the best that can really serve the needs of future people.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment?
Just one, here's one.
Here's one.
Salvation Army has them for about $5.
Okay. Thank you. Any other public comments? No other public comments, okay, let's open this up to board discussion. Cynthia?
Yes, sure. May 18th, I emailed Anthony Manzano and I asked him to put this on the executive board agenda. It has not been on any of the agendas before. It's a new business. I did my homework and I did find some from 3 different locations or 2 different locations. I am very thorough with what I'm trying to do. My concern was also that it should be something that has multiple use, like the one in Michelle has, where you could put other things in there, not just the laptop.
Projector.
So I did do my research on that,
Beautiful.
okay? And
Okay.
that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you. Any comments?
I just want to clarify that new business, that one that we're speaking of right now is not old business from the previous agenda. So it has its place.
This is the first
For
time
the
it's ever
first
been
time.
seen.
Old business is what I've highlighted, so you guys can see what old business is. It's everything that is highlighted that was taken from May 3rd agenda. And obviously, since we approved number 14, which is the lamp discussion, and number 19, which was supporting the Derby dolls, those 2 you will not see in here. Those were taken out, and old business stayed in the same order that it was on May 3rd. It just gave it a new number, because obviously numbers changed, but the old business stayed in the same order, unless we want to change the order around or just leave it as it is, you know, which is everything highlighted in yellow was May 3rd that we didn't vote. It's all sitting there word for word the way it is. So since that stays the way it is, then we go into new business where we're at right now,
And that's what we're doing now.
which we either, like I mentioned earlier, in the past, we voted by section. We voted like let's vote all of our officers' motions that were moved forward, and let's move them, and then we vote, and let the community weigh in on the order that we're deciding, because we're not approving the 200. We're just approving that it's gonna go on that agenda on number
So
21.
it can be discussed.
You know what I
by
mean, so
the
it could
board.
be discussed. So we could either go item by item and keep going back and forth with the public and weighing in, or we can just say, hey, you know what? Look at your executive agenda, and if you really look at your executive agenda, all of the new business are items that we submitted, officers submitted to be on this general board, which are funding items, you know?
Yeah.
So we can either say, let's put the motion to do number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to be on the agenda, and then someone seconds, and then we put them in right now, then that's what we hear in their way, versus going one by one, which might be a little bit longer.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
But for now, we're on, with this one, we could just leave this one there and vote for that one to stay on there
Alright,
now.
so the item 7, we've heard public comment, we've heard board discussion. Let's go ahead and vote to put this on the agenda. All in favor of putting this item on the agenda, say aye.
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 Okay, item 7 is now new business, item 21 on the June general board agenda. Okay, moving on to item 8. Discussion and possible action that LA 32 NC fund up to $70 for one.
Can I make a motion? I like to motion that we put item number 8. And I'm looking at the executive agenda, if you guys are wondering what is she looking at, I'm looking at the executive agenda. I'm in a motion that we put item number 8, new business, number 9, number 12, I'm sorry, number 8, number 9, in that general board agenda for June 7th. Number 8 and 9,
Okay,
so I motion that we put item number 8 and 9
I'd like to second that.
in the
motion.
general board agenda.
I'd like to second that. So let's go ahead and vote to move this forward, to see if we can discuss this. All in favor of moving this forward, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Since that was the motion, don't we get public comment?
yes, so now let's move forward. So let's open this up. Is there any public comment? Yes.
Yeah, on the business cards, it appears that, from my point of view, that we've had quite a few board members. How stable is this particular board member appears to be? I don't know. You executives and board member back here would have the answer to that better than I would, okay? That's my public comment on number 2. I mean on number 7. I mean on number 8. I'm sorry. Take all that back.
8 and 9 together, 8 and 9 together.
It's 8 and 9.
8 and 9 together
Oh,
from the
they're
executive
together?
agenda.
Okay, well, let me look at this other one. Number 9, I have no comment.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Any other public comment on this motion that we have before us? Any public comment? All right, let's have some board discussion. So,
So I'm gonna move it up to number 22 and number 23, those two right now. Right there,
So
right
we'll-
underneath that carrying case that we just said, so now it's gonna be 22 the business cards and 23 the branding items, unless you guys wanna switch those two.
Okay, so what we're discussing now is to whether or not to add these items, just stick them straight onto the agenda. Any other board comment on this?
No, I'm fine with that.
No, I'm good with that.
Okay, so let's vote then. All those in favor of adding items 8 and 9 onto the June general board agenda as items 22 and 23, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion is approved. So now we're moving on to item 10,
Which we already put on the
which
agenda.
we've already correctly put as a presentation.
No, you never had public comment on it.
Okay, so let's hear item 10 then. Is there
So then
let's
I'm
let's formalize it, let's formalize it.
Okay, I'd like to motion number 10 to put on the June 7th agenda under presentations, letter D,
Okay,
right
I'll
here.
second that.
okay, second, all in favor, say aye. To move this forward, aye.
Don't we get public
Yes, and now, okay,
discussion?
now it's been moved forward, let's open this up to public comment. Is there public comment on the motion to move item 10 up on the agenda as a presentation? Yes, we will.
I think she had her arm first.
Oh, I'm from the coalition, and I wanted to thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Which coalition is that?
Coalition to Preserve LA.
This is your draft letter, correct?
Yes, we have a draft
We have a
letter
draft
and a
letter.
draft
And the
motion.
draft council
And
motion.
the point of them is to ask the city to open the general plan process. They're now doing they have been doing the general plan and had promised to do it as a public process, but they've actually been holding meetings on it for quite some time behind closed doors. And they were refusing to let the public in, only people they invited. But since we've started getting motions and letters from neighborhood councils, about a half dozen or more neighborhood councils have now sent in, they have told us that they will begin to allow the public in now. And they always should have, but
Thank you for people like you.
thank you.
All right,
Make sure
well,
your letter motion be on the-
thank you for your public comment. Well,
I'm a little confused because it says discussion and possible action to hear. Like, you're making a motion to hear her, she's making a presentation, why does she have to have a motion to hear?
That's a correct valid point. It should be
Presentation.
presentation from the Coalition to Preserve LA.
Because I don't see what the action is. Otherwise, I would, at this point, say it does not belong in this area.
That's a good catch.
Yeah, we just moved
Is
it. She
We're just
preserve
so, we're excited that we can
Yes.
live this right now, that's why.
And capitalize, preserve.
From, presentation from the,
Coalition to
Coalition.
Preserve.
Capitalized collision too?
yes.
Yes,
What else?
Coalition to
preserve.
Preserve also? What else?
Preserve.
LA.
Capital.
Thank you. We're happy that you're considering our motion, so I need all the way you spell us.
Well, no, it's not a motion, what I'm saying is not a
Well,
motion.
ours
It's
is.
not a motion.
This is a
it's
motion
discussion.
that we will bring before your
Okay.
board, for your board to vote
Should we?
whether or not they
see
want to
attached
pass
ones
the
so
motion.
People can see this?
Yes, yes.
So
So
then,
when we put it up for 72
What do you
hours,
wanna
And
call
you
it?
must have a motion.
Attachment what?
someplace
attachment,
in the rest of the agenda.
That's why
well,
I
right
think it
now
was
we
put
have-
on here
we should
as a
just do
motion.
A and B,
No, A
right?
through D is budget and finance. A through E,
this
remember?
sounds like a
so
land
F and
use
G.
issue.
Yeah.
Call it
So-
F and G.
This is a land use issue, and if you're gonna ask us to submit a motion,
Mhm.
it has to go through the land use committee first.
That's right.
So rather than put this straight onto the agenda, you're welcome to come give a presentation. to the
I
full
thought
board.
this was the land use committee.
No, Executive,
It's executive board.
Ah,
for setting agenda.
They report to them.
So you can go ahead and give a presentation to the full board, but you still have to give a
how
presentation.
do I, okay, you
to
know,
land
it,
use.
the city's website isn't, for you guys,
He's
isn't
the
the
land use
best.
So I'm the chair of the land use, we meet on the third Tuesday of every month,
Right here.
and so if you'd like to be on the next agenda, we
Yeah, I
can put you on
would
the next
very
agenda,
much,
okay?
yeah.
We'll put you on the next agenda.
Okay,
I can
great.
forward you her information, Miguel.
Okay.
So then don't
Thank
even
you.
do the attachment, because we're not gonna take a stand, we're just gonna hear the presentation.
No,
So would you-
not even the presentation.
Not even the presentation,
No.
no.
Have to
Well,
go
then
to
it's gonna
the
confuse-
committee first.
It's gotta go through the meeting first. So
Okay.
let's remove this item. So we're on item 10. I'd like to, is there any more public comment on item 10? Is there any board discussion on item 10? I'd like to, yeah, this is all some very good points. This has to go through the land use committee. Item 11, motion that we, item 11, announce the submission of grievances by stakeholder Ruben
I
Chavez.
second.
All those in favor, say aye. Board and designated to the grievance committee. Okay, item 10 is now, would somebody like to move this item forward?
I'll move the item forward.
I'll second that.
Second there.
Wait, now, what was that again? It's-
And, okay, so let's,
Public discussion.
all those in favor of moving this forward, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, let's move this item, move forward. Let's open it up for public comments. Is there any public comments on item 11? Who vote?
As I've been told previously, and I've looked at the bylaws, the bylaws call for a panel. And there's always been, we've been asked to get that clarified. And I don't know if there's ever been a clarification between what constitutes a panel and what constitutes a committee. And although I hear from one end something else, and the other, being that I'm on that so-called committee, that supposedly doesn't exist, I'd like to get that clarification. I've asked for it in the past, and I would ask that be clarified before we do anything.
Is there any other public comment? Yes.
I also go along with Mr. Pacheco's statement with his view. It's vital that we know the difference between one word and the other word, and what they mean and what they represent. and how it's going to play out on this particular number 11, so we can, so you or the board appoint the people to the proper category of whatever name you choose that's appropriate, so this goes legally the way it's supposed to go.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, let's open this up to board discussion. I do recall that, I don't remember exactly what it was, but we created something, and Ugo was the chair of it, to hear grievances. I don't know if that was a committee, ad hoc committee, or a committee or panel or what, but I do recall that. And so I'm not too familiar with what the bylaws say about how to hear grievances, so I'm gonna defer to another fellow
Would
board
you like the
member.
bylaws copy? This is the one.
So the bylaws, are
That's
you
the
done, or are we still
recommendation.
in board discussion?
Board discussion.
Yes, oh yeah, we're still doing.
So the bylaws does say a panel, not committee, and we did speak on this. I cannot give you the date or the minutes because the chair of the committee has that, but I am a board director or board member of that committee. And we did have a nice discussion on committee versus panel. If I recall, Hugo, Scott, Anthony, myself, Jack, not Jack, oh yeah, I think Jack is, oh. There were some of us here, and we even started looking up the dictionary. Everybody's looking at their phone, looking at committee versus panel. And he came to a conclusion that panel was what the bylaw said, and panel is there for that specific grievance, that grievance only, so you create a panel. Because a committee would mean that that person stays chairing the entire year, and the panel gives opportunity to other board directors to take on the grievance, just in case the grievance is on that individual or those board directors. And I know that Mr. Pacheco also emailed Empower LA asking them to clarify. I don't even think they gave him an answer, to be honest with you, but I know that I did say, we did vote for it, and I think I even added the voting board to it, that we ratified him as chair. But if you look at our bylaws, it's not a committee, so it's not a chair, it's a panel. Grievance number 58 was the one that Scott Johnson submitted, and that's the one that was assigned to Hugo Pacheco. Anthony and Hugo were supposed to follow up with Scott Johnson to see what he was going to do, whether he was gonna pursue and follow through, because the bylaws does say you have to meet with that stakeholder a certain days once they submit it.
2 weeks.
But nothing has happened, nothing got done. I don't know exactly where that stands, if Mr. Johnson, decided to not go through with it or not. That is an Anthony answer, or maybe we can ask Mr. Pacheco if he knows something about Mr. Scott Johnson pulling back and saying, I don't wanna, follow through with it or not. But our bylaws do say that it is a panel, so it's not a committee. So we would assign a panel on that day. To the grievance, which is, we have them. How many grievances did Mr. Chavez submit today? 3.
So thank you for sharing that. I'm reading the bylaws right here. The grievance procedure below shall be used to challenge formal action of LA 32SE. It says ad hoc grievance panel. The board shall randomly select from 2 stakeholders and 2 directors who have expressed an interest in serving from time to time on such a panel to review the complaint. So so then what happened? We created a panel to hear that one grievance, and then that grievance was heard or not heard? So
The
then-
language was committee.
Okay.
Jen Markovich created a committee and ratified a chair. So we didn't even do it properly for grievance number 58.
So, I think-
So if we're gonna do
so we did
it,
it wrong.
oh yeah, we did it wrong.
So we have a grievance now,
3 of them.
3 of them, and we have, in the bylaws, it says the process is to create an ad hoc grievance panel. It says the board shall randomly select 2 stakeholders, 2 directors, who have an interest in serving on the panel. So then,
So then that would go to the president's report, and he appoints the panel, which is on, if we look at our drafted agenda, number 6, president's report. Number, appoint committee members, 2 chairs. Maybe right here we add grievance panel.
He cannot be on that panel, the president, conflict of interest.
but he's still the president, so he can appoint.
Yeah, he can appoint, but he cannot be part of the panel.
Correct.
So maybe right here put beautification committee and grievance panel.
That's an idea. Let's see if there's any more comments. Yes, you will.
Okay,
I was appointed, I was appointed as the grievance committee chair, but
I'm the one that questioned it in terms of the legality of where it was done. Because I started reading it to see the instructions on how to communicate with the person that was grieved, right? The person turning the grievance. But I can't communicate to that person yet unless I know what the rules are. And the rules, unfortunately, were made by Dunn, and I will say it over and over again. These bylaws were created by Dunn, and they created this mess. And that's why I directed not only to the board here, but I directed my communications to Dunn to clarify what this particular bylaw states as to what the panel is supposed to do, how it's supposed to be put together, how you become interested, how you put your name on there, and then how you're chosen. Because one of the things that occurred at that time that I thought about was if I had one committee, one chair, and there is a time limit as how quickly you have to go to the grievance the person grieved. So what if you had 3 grievances and you have this time limitation? You would better create 3 panels to take care of it, at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to run out of time. So all those questions were never answered, And so I guess, I don't know what to do. Honestly, I didn't get an answer from Dunn. I didn't get an answer from this board that I remember.
So, okay, thank you for sharing that, everyone. You were appointed as the chair of the ad hoc committee, and you had a lot of valid questions about the process and how to communicate this and that, and never answered. Okay, so that's a good learning experience for us going forward, right? So that happened. So here we are again now, more grievances. They have to be heard. Our bylaws call for a panel. So I think the appropriate thing to do is to put this under the president's report and have him select, according to the bylaws, the people to sit on this panel. And then hopefully we can get some direction from Dunn and have Tom come and answer these questions. Would you mind putting your questions again in writing?
As a matter of fact, I'll resend the memo.
Okay.
I save almost everything that I sent you guys.
Okay, that way we can get some clear answers on it. So then, did somebody make a motion to put this on? No, so the motion's on there. We have a motion, current motion, to add this item to the agenda. Michelle gave a suggestion of putting it under the president's report. Cynthia?
I have some stuff to weigh in on.
Okay, yes.
Okay, 2011, these bylaws were posted over 72 hours and something happened to them. But the original exact wording is in 2011, so it's not a done thing. This is something that the actual beginning, the people that started us, which would have been our, I don't know what you call them, founders of our neighborhood council, these were their words. So they were just copied and pasted, put right into these into the same bylaws. So they're not Dunn's directive bylaws, first of all. At the bottom, it does say here, it is a panel. The word is never changed. So what happened with the president that we had previous, she called it a committee, and we followed the rules to form a committee, and we did it wrong. So we're admitting that we did that incorrectly. So what we're gonna have to do now with Mr. Scott Johnson, probably follow the same process with whoever the new panel is going to be. So maybe we would have to dissolve the committee that was created and let them know you guys are already, your ad hoc time is done. Because it was an ad hoc, so that's usually something that is by time preference. If it's 1 week, 3 months, but when their job is done, it's done. The panel, as it states in our bylaws, that it will continue throughout the rest of the term to hear any other grievances or maybe even past. But it doesn't say anything about having to hear past grievances that were not actually acknowledged or were not followed through with. It just says to follow the grievances when the panel is created. So where are we at with that? That is my input, and that is my question.
Yeah, that's definitely something that needs to get sorted out. I think the first step in that is to contact the person who filed the grievance, who is Scott Johnson, and figure out if he has some resolution or if he'd like us to
Drop it.
drop
Well,
it.
he has to have the
to-
option.
So, okay, so I will do that.
Jackie,
I
I
don't
have a
mind
full
doing that.
copy here. You can-
I will reach out to Scott Johnson and kind
That's
of get a
just
sense
a
of where he's at, if he wants to withdraw, drop it, move forward. If he does, then we do need to dissolve the old committee and, go through this correct process
Okay.
on how to do this.
So put it on there, right? On President's report?
But that's a different issue. Right now, what we're talking about is putting this item on the agenda.
Which will be
So-
right there.
And so we have a recommendation of how to do that, put it under the president's report. I kind of like that idea.
It'll be 6B.
Yep, 6B, let's see if there's any more public comment.
Now, in terms of what Mr. Pacheco and Cynthia have said, Cynthia is correct in the statement she made, because I was a board member at that time from here. And however it is, we need to work. Say if Mr. Pacheco was correct that it was from Dunn. Well, if that's what we have today, for now, we have to work with what we got. It just so happens that it isn't Dunn's thing, but we have to work with what we got. And I feel that someone in the executive board should do the same thing that Mr. Pacheco did with Dunn. Someone here of you four contact Dunn and ask for the same, and give them the same questionnaire that Mr. Pacheco gave them to see, because that way, because Mr. Pacheco is just a board member and you guys are executive, and that has different weight and different priorities of doing things in terms of rank, okay? I'm not anything negative on what Mr. Pacheco said. Matter of fact, I agree with him. But I'm pleading with one of you folks decide to contact Don as the executive regarding that issue with the questions that Mr. Pacheco posed to them, and hopefully they'll respond to you, to whoever you contact them, and we'll proceed from there.
Okay, thank you for public comment.
I have the answer.
Yes,
I
last comment.
had several grievances myself, and I never heard from anybody. And I was against Jennifer and other people. And so, the whole grievance procedure,
Process.
right? And you're absolutely right, somebody created this bylaw somewhere. But in the final approval is from Dunn. And Dunn reviewed these, they approved them, they sent them to Bunk. Bunk came to our community here and approved them as well. So the ultimate responsibility actually lies with the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners along with Dunn. We're not the experts in bylaws. There's a whole city attorney and everybody else. For us to blame us for something that's as important as this, it's wrong. So I would say, please assist me to get the right answer. I don't mind, I don't need to be on the grievance committee. I only did it because nobody else wanted to do it, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Miguel?
Yes,
I can actually take care of that since I'm the corresponding secretary. That would be considered a correspondence. He would email me and I would email him back and I would find out that answer.
okay, so we wanna make sure we stay on topic.
If that's necessary.
So-
But I know Michelle has something
I
to
have the
say,
answer.
so she has,
Have the answer.
Okay, Michelle, it's here.
November 14, 2016, Empower LA emailed the board. And they emailed the board, which is LA32NC@empowerla.org.
I never heard that.
We were transitioning into this board, so obviously the board roster wasn't up to date because previous board members were still getting that email, and I had to go back and forth with roster department to get all of the
All
newbie
members
votes on
on.
there. Anyways, the email clearly here reads, that they're giving us grievance, they assigned it a number 58 by Scott Johnson, and they wanted us to take a stand with, which was either A, we take it through our bylaws, or B, we deny it, and it goes back to Empower LA, and they take care of Empower LA. And then it says, if no action has been taken by the LA Council, either via council within the time allotted, which is the details of the hearing. The department will forward the grievance to a regional grievance panel, which is their Hugo on December 9th. They have a regional, that's when he came on the board, go around. And I told them, as per your request, here is one of the 2 emails that read from Empower LA, their grievance policy. The grievance is number 58 that was submitted by Scott Johnson. I can forward you that email that I sent I forward to Hugo, so you can have it all and you can follow up with him Farley and say, where is grievance 58 at, since we didn't hear it?
Right.
And you should be handling it, so Farley should be taking care of it now.
I think Jen was the one that immediately said at that meeting, and it's on video, that we were not going to entertain it, that we were going to refuse it, because that was one of our options. And then that became another conversation and a bigger,
So I'm gonna forward it to you,
process.
right now, okay?
Sure, perfect. My phone is on.
All right, so we have a motion, we've heard discussion, we've had public comment, we've got a motion on here to add this to the president's report. So all in favor of adding this item number 11 to the general board agenda, say aye.
6B, I say aye.
Aye, okay, that's unanimous. Item 11 has been added to the
And I
general,
CC'd Mr. Pacheco
general
on that
board
email, I forward you
agenda.
right now,
Thank you.
since he's
So-
sitting here.
Yes, we will figure out,
What was that date?
December 9th.
okay, item 12.
So do we
I
put,
move-
Mr. Rubin's grievances will be submitted, right? Because you have copies, so you know how many panels to do and all that
So
stuff.
we have to add that to the agenda, so we'll do
Okay.
that at a later time. So item 12, committee recommendations submitted from standing and ad hoc motions in writing to be forwarded for agenda setting. So at this time, if there's anyone who has a motion that they'd like to have added to the agenda, please pass those forward. Okay, we got one.
Has to be in writing,
Has
correct?
to be in writing.
You got it in writing.
We have
Or
one
via
from,
email.
one from two from the Sports and Rec Committee,
Yes, sir.
2 from the Sports and Rec Committee, 1 from Land Use. Any other items from any other committee?
Yes, we do.
Public
Public safety. Can I have them in writing? And there's 2 motions.
Okay, 2 from Public Safety, excellent. Any other committees?
Read it to me, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I have mine's right here. I'll read them to you. Is that one and those two on the top. And then there's 2 from Arts and Culture. So I have 2 from Outreach, and 1 from Budget and Finance, and 3 from Arts and Culture.
All right, how does this work? Do I have to read these or? do
I don't know
just-
what order, we decide who goes first.
Okay.
Do you wanna look at dates, who's going first, who's doing what first?
Time sensitive.
Arts and Culture is not till like later on, so you don't have to worry about putting us like at the top. I think you should go with time sensitive.
Let me read them quickly to see if there's any.
Look
time
at, just look at dates.
Okay, obvious,
Oh, well, budget packet has to be due July 1st.
July 1st.
The budget packet,
Okay.
July
So
1st,
Then we gotta get that one in there. So the first, if it's, we go by order of time sensitive.
July
So-
1st.
So then let's do the budget motion first.
Okay, so then, read
Read
it to me, so it won't be discussion impossible, it'll be motion that LA 32 approves, so now it's motion.
Okay, so we're gonna add motion that LA 32 NC approve the 2017-2018 budget package that is due to Empower LA, on July 1, 2017, period.
That's it, just like that?
Packet includes the strategic plan, fiscal year 2017-2018.
Spell strategic,
STRATEGIC. Packet includes the strategic plan,
comma,
fiscal year 2017-2018, comma, 2017-2018, comma, budget for fiscal year 2017-2018, comma, NC outreach survey for fiscal year 2017-2018, comma, and NC self-assessment for fiscal year 2015-2016, parentheses, C attachments A through E.
Wow, wow.
You're still on the bum list, okay?
and that's all the attachments, which I have to fix a little.
Alright, so that's the budget item. You also have some budget from outreach.
Yeah, one of them is, I'll tell you what one of them is. time sensitive is July 20th. Do you have something there before July 20th?
No. Wait.
Outreach,
No.
nothing for July 20th?
No.
Because arts and culture is not till October and
Yeah,
December.
let's go with this one.
Okay, so then it would be,
B.
so it would be, give me a second, hold on. Go.
Motion that LA 32 NC host a coffee with cops, comma, Thursday, July 20th, 2017, comma, at La Cocina, 4989 Huntington Drive, Los Angeles, California, 90032. The time,
Huntington Drive, LA, California, right?
LA, California, 90032. The time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Period. Funds not to exceed $250 for coffee, pastries. $250 for coffee, pastries, snacks, beverages, and food.
Coffees, pastries.
It's TRIS.
Coffee, pastries, snacks, beverages, and food.
Doesn't a comma go after $250, 00, comma?
There you go.
No.
I don't know what to mean, because that's not what I decided.
No?
Well, no, you see four, but you gotta put $250 for, there you go. Okay, that's it, that's that item. Okay, the next pressing thing would be, we got August 5th, September, and then we got, what is National Night Out?
Be August 1st,
August.
first Tuesday.
Okay, so then we gotta go public safety next.
Okay.
So then the next one is, let's see.
Motion that LA 32.
Motion that LA 32 NC, motion that LA 32 NC board approve,
NC board?
yeah, approve the expenditure of $750 to fund,
Hold on, give me
to fund a national night out event.
capital N, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a national night out event.
Yes, in August
In
20,
or in October, in August,
in
right?
August 2017,
Just August 2017?
comma, within the boundaries of the LA 32 NC area.
So that makes it specific.
So there's no dates to that?
I think National Night Out is.
It's the first Tuesday.
It's the
always-
first Tuesday of August. Just put the date now. No, oh, but they don't have that on there.
So,
We
They
we'll
don't
have
have
to
it on
amend
The
it.
LAPD still does not have it on the website.
It's
We
always
do-
the first
We do
Tuesday.
know it's August,
Yeah.
we do know it's the first Tuesday.
We'll probably know by
But for
then.
whatever reason, they are, change it for, you know,
It's
You
national
can
wide,
amend it if you.
across the country, it's always the same day, so it is
Right.
August
Yeah.
1st.
There you
but
go.
putting it in August is not gonna destroy August 1st, or August 2nd, August 3rd, does it?
No, because it's any day in August if you're only putting August 2017.
But it is
But the
August,
national day
it's
is-
100% August 1st.
It's
That's
August
why-
1st always.
No, August, no, first Tuesday.
That's
of-
August
of
1st.
August.
So it's
No, it
August,
could be August 2nd, I think it was August 2nd
if
last
you look at
year.
the calendar, the first Tuesday of August is August 1st.
So it's August 1st
It's
this
August-
year.
This year, it falls on August 1st.
Yeah, this year.
Yes, this year.
No, but I'm saying, okay, but
So
It's-
for this,
yeah, for
we'll
this
just
year.
put August 1st, because we know, we know it's that date. Is that
Well, you
fine?
can't because they didn't vote on it.
I didn't
doesn't
vote
say-
it that way.
Yeah, he
No,
didn't vote
you
on
have
it.
to
I
vote
can't-
on
we can
August
change it then
2017.
if you wish.
Yeah,
You
he
can
can
change
amend
it
that.
I can't
at the
amend it
G's,
here,
yeah.
I'm not the committee.
And we can't
You have to
amend
amend it
his
at the
thing
general
either.
board.
We put it exactly how it is and then we just amend on June
Okay, let
7th.
me read it
Any
again.
corrections or whatever, come up then.
Motion that LA 32 NC board approve the expenditure of $750 to fund National Night Out events in August 2017, within the boundaries of LA 32 NC area, period. Funds to be used.
Okay, events, you have to put parentheses, events,
Right here?
because the discussion was.
Parentheses?
No,
After
no,
the-
after the T,
Yes.
Oh, so he wants you to put event or events, so parenthesis S, parenthesis.
Okay, so event,
Go back,
Go back one,
parenthesis,
open parentheses, that's what it's called.
no, not,
oh,
The parentheses is the,
yes, S,
and then S,
And
and
then
close parentheses.
close.
oh,
so
okay.
he wants to either be singular or plural.
Okay.
In August 20C, within the boundaries of LA 32 and C
Area.
area. Within the boundaries of LA
Yeah, yeah.
32 and C area.
I didn't call it.
So that means we won't have two places, at the police station and one here.
Right, right. Okay, there's more, there's more.
No,
there's
that's not what I
one.
mean.
You ready?
Yeah, keep going. Another motion, right?
Period, no,
No,
period.
no.
All period?
Funds to be used by the Public Safety Committee for the purchase of a LA 32 National Night Out banner, comma, public safety information, literature, public safety information, literature, as well as the purchase,
Literature, right?
L-I-T,
No, no,
No, that's lecture, sorry.
Literature, literature.
Sorry. My carpal tunnel is hurting.
There we go. Public safety information literature, as well as the purchase of food and refreshments for the event.
Wow,
Wow, right?
it's gonna be some night. Beautiful.
Refreshments for the event,
For the event.
for the event, okay,
Way to go, Google.
Okay, that's that one.
okay.
Let's go, the next time sensitive one is the sports and rec. So here we go, motion. Motion, and if you want me to jump in there and type, I can, you know, my hands are,
You wanna, yeah,
my
cause,
hands are young.
thank you.
Young.
There you go.
Age discrimination.
You're looking
I
at
feel
what?
bad now, Ruben, chime in.
So, motion
Let me read it to
that sports.
I'm gonna read it
Okay,
to you?
Go for it,
Okay. Which one are you reading first, the first one or the second one?
first one.
Motion that LE 32 NC co-sponsor with Councilman Jose Weiser.
This one here? Oh, I was,
Well, it belongs to LE 32, it
oh, I'm
doesn't
sorry,
belong to Sports and Rec.
I was totally reading the
Yeah.
wrong one here. Okay. Motion that LA 32 co-sponsor with,
Councilman Weiser for annual movie night at El Sereno Park, abbreviation August 5th, comma, to purchase snacks and drinks,
Wait, go back, okay.
up to and not exceed 400. Do you wanna put after to be taken from Sports and Rec Committee, so like that we know?
The up to is not necessary, it's not to exceed is what's really,
we gotta put
But
what's
we have
on
to
the-
put
Yeah.
exactly what they wrote.
Okay,
oh,
so
it's
okay,
their
I'm
motion.
sorry.
That's fine, just leave it like
Sorry.
that.
If that's the case, you have to put councilman,
Yeah.
not member.
So we put it just how they have it, because they put councilman. It's actually councilman. It's council member.
Okay. Motion LA 32 co-sponsor with Councilman Weezer for annual movie night at El Sereno Park, August 5th, to purchase snacks and drinks up to and not to exceed $400.
Okay,
What's the next one? Do the next one.
September, yeah, because mine's already in October, November. Motion that LE 32 NC co-sponsor with Aztlan, AZTLAN Athletics for abbreviation September 23rd, Ascot Hills Challenge, comma, purchase of snacks, comma,
Snakes, that would be nice.
fruit, comma, granola bars comma, bottled water, comma,
Hold on,
oh, sorry.
Granola bars.
I can't read that fast.
Granola bars, comma,
Bottled water, comma, gallon water, comma, power Gatorade, comma,
Or would be two.
ice. So maybe after small cups, another comma,
So they
small
forgot that
cups,
comma?
up to and not exceed, up to and not to
To
exceed, 500. Which should, isn't it small cups,
Pretty
TOO?
good.
No, small cups, two.
Small cups, to and not exceed
Done.
I
500.
have one question in terms of time sensitive. When is the next CPAP meeting?
It's the third Wednesday of every month.
It already happened.
Okay, third Wednesday, so we're asking for a liaison to the piece, CPAP,
let's
so
do-
which
we'll
makes
do-
it time sensitive for immediate within the next month.
let's do that one next.
Okay, so you want that one?
Well, it actually has to go because then it should be
That's
for
true,
the
because if
next,
we hear it on June 7th, then it would be on that one, okay.
that has to be first.
Okay,
we'll
so
put it
where's
up,
his-
right here, after the National Night Out one.
Okay,
Motion,
where is it at?
Is it-
Oh, here we go.
Is it in July and June before August?
you right?
Oh, that's right, because September is,
That's what I'm asking, when's the
July.
next meeting, which
Okay.
would be in June?
where are we at? Motion,
But one more question, is our meeting before or after the CPAP meeting?
before
Before.
June 7th,
Okay, so then, okay.
yeah, so it'll go on there. Motion that LA 32 and C to support, again, oh, sorry, and appoint Public Safety Committee members, as in S, members, semicolon, Jose Luna and Angela Duarte, comma,
Oh, Angela.
as LE 32 NC liaison and alternate liaison respectively, comma,
Hold on, is that
No,
liaison?
liaison
Liaison.
and, okay, how are you saying? it?
liaison
Liaison,
and
alternate.
alternate liaison respectively, comma, to Hollenbeck Community Police Advisory Board. No, it's not the, oh yeah, to the Hollenbeck Community Police Advisory Board. And then, parentheses, CPAC.
You forgot the Wild Rising.
To the
This is
Hollenbeck
CPAP.
LAPD Community Police Advisory Board, C,
What's the C stand for? Community?
Community. No, there's no comma.
There's
I mean,
no comma.
No,
It's all together,
no
CPAC.
parentheses.
No,
Dash.
dash. And after Hollenbeck, they don't have LAPD on their motion.
No, we don't.
So you gotta take that out.
okay,
Okay.
so it's that
It's
one.
advisory board with a one.
Advisory Board, got it. 26, 27, we did 27, so then,
Yeah, make sure you're saving that because we don't wanna lose it at all.
Hit the toolbar on the top with the mouse, and then it'll appear on the top. That little save it there.
okay,
Well, the board has no idea how complicated it is to run the board.
that's right.
Okay, so
This
anything
one-
else?
This public
Public
safety one is
you
done.
mean.
Number 30,
he
number
has one
30
more,
is empty
doesn't he?
there. What's number
Yes,
30?
one more. Cause I still have some from,
National Night
Oh,
Out
there's 6 more to
liaison.
go.
Oh, we have to,
You have two, right?
yes, sir.
So we have
Okay.
two, public safety's done, we
so
got
now
this
arts
one.
and culture's next. And we got, outreach, and one more for outreach and 2 more for arts and culture.
Wow.
Okay, outreach.
Here we go,
There's like
outreach.
4 more.
This one is in, October. Okay. Motion that LE 32 NC.
Actually, you know what, this motion from the land use committee, the hearing date, there's a hearing for the Lombardi and Eastern housing development. The comment period was extended a few weeks so that LA 32 could formally submit comments to the planning department. So actually, this one has to go before all the others,
Okay,
because
before the budget packet too, right?
because we need to, it's gonna expire in a few days after our meeting. So we need to approve this, and LA 32 needs to send these comments to the planning department, who has already extended the public comment period for twice already. So that,
So this is a time sensitive one.
this one's time
Okay.
sensitive.
So should it go on
That's on the
top of the new
horizon
business?
again, huh? See?
Yeah, we
So
are-
before the
There you go.
operational expenses, before all of that?
Now, let's hear that, let's hear
No,
all
no.
that,
That's not,
and let's go
it's before the liaison.
here, before, we do it after budget. So right there.
Okay,
Actually, 27 goes before 26.
that's right, he did say that because, 26 is July and 27 is, in June.
Okay, motion.
Okay, how do you wanna word this?
This is from Tom, this is from Dr. Tom Williams.
How?
But we didn't vote on that, we voted on motion that LA 32, NC board. We started from here. So it's that the motion that LA 32 board, oppose the
The
Vista.
What is that, a dash or
Yeah.
slash, El Sereno project, parentheses, AP,
Shit. AP.
CE.
2015-2048, okay.
And
CEQA mitigated negative declaration. These are the file numbers.
Okay.
So motion that LA 32 board oppose the Vista El Sereno project, file number APCE-2015-2048, and CEQA mitigated negative declaration, parentheses, ENVI 2015-1918 MND, and recommend that the LA 32 board oppose the proposed project unless amended and supported by a more adequate, complete CEQA document and public involvement. So this is what the land use committee held a meeting. We heard a presentation from the developer, and this was a recommendation that was voted on by all members of the land use committee, and so we're bringing this before the full board.
Okay,
So this is
Beautiful.
so this one's in October 21st, the arts and culture one.
October 21st, so that's right after this one.
Okay,
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
Motion that LA 32 NC co-sponsor with ESCA, ESCA,
One more time,
CA.
ESCA.
Capital
They're all
ESCA.
capitals. It's
Yeah.
not gonna,
It's short for the name of the
but
organization.
it should say sponsor with.
For the annual
Wait, Michelle,
Oh.
he needs to put the word with before ESCA.
co-sponsor with
That's good.
ESCA for the annual El Sereno Dia de los Muertos event, comma, date, semicolon, October 21st, 2017, comma,
October 1st?
21st,
21st.
2017, comma, time, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., comma, location, Huntington Drive and Portola, period.
Are they gonna have a tunnel open for that?
Fund, and Portola, period. Fund up to and not exceed $500 for free children's community activity booth.
for free children's activity booth?
Community activity booth.
It's apostrophe. There you go.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
Next one's in, December.
Okay, all of your other,
So one more time from the top, so we
all
got,
of your other money, funding
still got another
items
one.
have dot zero zero, so
Okay,
maybe you
but-
wanna
okay, we'll
continue
come
that
back,
through all of them.
we
Wait.
will
We'll
do
come back
that.
and do that right now. Okay, so the next one, motion that Alley 32 NC host their second annual Halloween event, period. Date, October 31st, 2017, period. Location, La Cocina, 4989 4989 Huntington Drive, LA, California, 90032, comma, time, 3 to 7 p.m., period. Fund up to and not exceed 500 for chocolate bars, comma, candy, comma,
One more time, fund up to and not to exceed $400,
$500
$500.
for chocolate bars, comma, candy, comma, Halloween pails, what are those other things, quotations,
PA.
or like, the little quotations, or like, what do you call the little thing?
Pails is P-A-I-L-S.
Quotation marks.
Quotation,
Yeah.
It's double
Halloween
and
pails,
single.
quotation, or like, that protects us if we buy anything that has to do with Halloween. So it says, why'd you buy that? Because we said, or like,
Got it.
to be given away to children. That's it.
The
And
word
then-
pails is P-A-I-L-S.
Pale, P-A-I-L-S, correct.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, and there's another one. This one's for December. Motion that Alley 32 NC host their second annual movie night with Santa event. I'm sorry, their movie night with Santa Claus event.
This is beautiful, wow.
Date, December 15th, 2017, comma, time 6 to 9 p.m. Location, El Cerrito Senior Center. (4818) Klamath Place, LA, California, 90032. Period. Fund up to and not exceed
Not exceed. Sorry.
children's holiday,
Wait a minute, what's the amount?
What's the amount?
oh,
Not exceed what?
500
For,
for children's holiday movie, because we can't say
Backwards,
Christmas,
like children's, apostrophe S.
comma, popcorn, comma, beverage, comma,
Hold on,
snacks,
Can't read that fast.
Popcorn, beverage, snacks.
snacks, and giveaways to children. Okay? And another one, the last one's from, another one from Outreach. Motion that Alley 32 NC fund up to and not exceed $650 for 10,000 flyers. Parentheses, 5,000 for the Alley 32 NC, second annual Halloween event, and 5,000 for the Alley 32 NC, second annual movie night with Santa Claus event.
Should that 5,000 have a dollar sign on it?
No, it's an amount of flyers,
Oh.
because it's 10,000 flyers, 5 for one event and 5 for the other.
Should not that go under each one of those other motions for each event? That pertains to the event.
No, that's a motion brought from Outreach, who will buy their flyers, their promote
It's a
them.
different,
It's a different
Arts
committee.
and Culture is doing the event and Outreach is gonna print the flyers.
Different funding source.
Yeah,
Different funding.
All right, all right.
that's why I wanted
If
to
it's
put,
time sensitive to October, and then it's time sensitive to December. So you could,
We're so far out though that I guess it doesn't matter. It'll get heard eventually.
because once those 2 events get approved, then they'll approve the
Committee.
outreach of it.
Agenda,
I mean, I understand that.
We are on item,
Chronological order of things.
12, we are still receiving any motions in writing from any committees. Are there any other motions that need to be submitted at this
Just that we
time?
vote on those, and then we still have to do the
added quite a
future
few
items to be
tonight.
heard by
Are
executive
there any
committee, but
others?
we're not on that item, right?
Okay, seeing
Right now, we're
none,
still
let's,
on number 12.
Okay,
So
shall
just
we go back to our
recommendation by the number, how many we added
the
from
following,
committees?
the following items, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. 10 items. So shall we approve the 10 items that have, that were submitted tonight and that are now on the agenda and on the board? Is there any public comment on approving these 10 items? Any,
My only public comment on that is, if they come from a committee, can you not put them out? I think that anything that comes from a committee has to be placed on the agenda. It's the order that you get to approve. Is
yes,
that correct?
yes.
So
Oh, I see what you're saying, they automatically get on the agenda, we're approving the order,
Yes,
not the approval to put them on, because it automatically goes on the agenda. So in other words, our wording would be that we approve the order of what we just did.
Okay, so do we all
Wait,
approve?
wait.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chavez.
30 seconds. I'm really impressed. I feel too bad that I'm moving out of the area. Man, I'm really impressed how this board, this new board, and this new, somewhat new executive board committee, how you moved in terms of really getting involved the community. Get the community to be involved within the community. I haven't seen that in quite a few years. It's been coming along slowly, but I think what I see here that you're doing, this is your annual programming. It's awesome. It's really awesome, and I hate the fact that I'm moving so far away, because I'd like to come to some of these activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
You always have a couch at my house.
All right, shall we then approve the order of these 10 items? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Items are approved. Moving on to item 12. I'm sorry, item 13.
13.
Future agenda items to be heard by the executive committee. Are there any future agenda
Yes.
items to be heard by the executive committee? Yes, Michelle.
They're on there already, but before that, if you go to the
Trade it
last,
again?
yeah. There's this one here in the bottom. Where is it at? The one that Empower LA told us to do, this one right here. This one. Empower LA emailed us and gave us a grievance number, which is number 77. And number 77 is the one that Ruben Chavez submitted. And they said that they want us to do one or the other, which is put it on our agenda and either we consider the grievance according to our bylaws or we send it to the department.
All right, so this will be heard at the next executive committee.
No, they
No,
want us to
this
put it
general
on
board.
our general board
Now.
agenda, yeah.
I see.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's right here, look, the copy, I'm sorry, I only have one copy. If you wanna read that, wait, I might have it here projected so we can see it real quick.
Did you forward that email to us? No.
Shall I read it for everyone?
Yeah, please.
Empower LA, this is an official memo on Empower LA letterhead. It's entitled grievance determination. And this is in regards to a grievance filed by Ruben Chavez. And it's referred to as grievance number 77. And it's the alleged violation is Neighborhood Council Bylaw, Article 8, Section 1.81. The date that this grievance happened was May the 5th. The grievance was reviewed by two staff members, Jasmine Duckworth and Lorenzo Bricion. And so after reviewing grievance 77, the department has forwarded the grievance to the LA 32 Neighborhood Council. After receiving a certified grievance from the department, the neighborhood council must at their next regular or special meeting, but no more than 60 calendar days from the communication of this official memo, take one of the following two actions. So there they are. So we have to put this on our agenda.
Right.
So that's why it's there. And then, we're still on 13, which is the recommendations from executive committee. Number 36, number 37, number 38. How did number 39 get down there? Didn't we move him up? 39 did get moved up, no? The business cards?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so let me take out 39, sorry. Because we moved up 39, right? So business cards are not down here no more.
Let's delete that.
Delete that one, because he's up there.
Delete the carrying case.
The carrying case, where is it at? That one
39.
too? Okay.
It'll be 40, you got that one up there?
Number 40.
39, 40, get rid of those. 39, you have up there?
We have 39 up there?
I believe you, there was,
Let me run it up real quick, just to check. New business.
Yes, right there, motion that you, 23.
Number 23, okay, so get rid of 39. Okay, so, since we're on number 13 and we're recommending, I'm recommending more operational stuff, which is number 36, 37, and 38. But my questions for 36, 37, and 38, should we leave them there? 36 and 37 are operational. Should we move them up with the rest of the operational?
Yeah, they should be more.
what are they? Can we see one more time?
Sure.
They're $250 for beverages,
No, number 36, right here.
$1,500 for paper clips, golf pencils. That's,
Operation.
That's all operational. That is for this fiscal year.
okay, I'd say, let's move that one up. Is there another one that we want to move up?
Number 37,
Purchase paper plates, napkins.
that's also
ice
for
chairs,
this fiscal year.
Keep beverages cool to see, what's it gonna be used for throughout the course of the year?
Throughout the meeting,
Oh, our meetings?
yeah, when we have,
Oh, okay.
yeah. The reason why, the last day to swipe the credit card is June 11th.
Okay.
The last day to submit a funding request is tomorrow.
Okay, so would somebody like, is there a motion?
So do we move this one up then, or
So
do we
then
first motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we move item 36, 37 up to the beginning of new business.
You still have one at the bottom, the last one?
No, that's
It's different?
that's for next fiscal year. That's, could stay at the end.
Oh, okay.
I'll explain it right now what it is.
Well, I'd like to motion that we do that. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so I'm gonna move it right here under branding items.
So the item has been moved forward. Is there any public comment on moving these two operational items to the
Not
front?
me.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
These motions,
yes.
they've already been discussed and approved by the executive committee?
These came out of funding committee, I believe, and the budget committee, did they not?
No, these are motions that we email or give to the president and say, I would like to see this on the agenda as executive officers. So
we haven't even discussed these yet.
so we give, yeah, so we have to vote on them to be on the agenda.
Yeah,
Okay.
you first have to have an executive committee meeting to discuss that, and once approved, then you put them on the agenda.
Because we usually put them on the agenda when we email them or give them to the president,
He puts them
and
on
then he
the
puts them on the agenda.
So then you have no motion right now
In
then?
other words, you have no motion to discuss the approval of these.
Well, we're on item 13,
Which gives us the opportunity to add
so it gives
things.
us the opportunity to
Future
add items to the
agenda.
agenda. So looks like Michelle has already written these items out. These are items that we need to approve first to see if they're okay to put on the agenda. So would somebody like to make a motion to discuss these items?
What
Yes.
happens to the
No, no, no,
motion
no.
you made? You would need to withdraw it.
Okay, let me withdraw my motion of putting these, moving these up to the beginning of the new business. So I withdraw my motion.
Okay,
So there's no motion on the floor. Now, would somebody like to make a motion to approve these items for the agenda?
I like to motion that we approve these 2 items. Do you want me to read them out loud, or?
Yes.
I motion, should we do individual since there are 2, or just the 2 of them together like that?
I say
What's
two of
together?
them together.
Okay, I motion that we approve these 2 items to be on the agenda under number 24 and 25.
Okay, then we can all see them there. Discussion and possible action that LA 32 purchase ink for the 2 LA 32 printers, paper up to 10 boxes of reams inside, index monthly dividers, masking tape, paper pencils, not to exceed $1,500. That's the first one. The second is discussion and possible action that LA 32 purchase paper plates, napkins, ice chest, tub for events to keep beverages cool, not to exceed $250. So I'd like to second that motion. So now that we have that motion on the floor, let's open it up to public comment.
I will state that this 2 items to be considered tonight under this committee should have been put in the agenda. They were not put in the agenda, so they're in violation of the Brown Act. Because you need to discuss them, open up for discussion for the public to know ahead of time that you are going to discuss and approve this to be placed on the agenda. So first, the executive committee has to put it in specifically on their agenda for tonight, vote on it tonight, and then go ahead and submit it to for the agenda. So there's a step missing here. This cannot be placed at all on the next agenda.
Is there any other public comment?
I agree with Mr. Pacheco 100%. He's right.
Let's open this up to board discussion.
So for the past, since 2013, we've done it like that. We've emailed the president motions that executive officers want to see on the agenda, and they're usually operational stuff. Since 2013 that I've been sitting on these executive committees, Marlene Fonseca, Jen Markovich, and Anthony Manzano have done it like that. I have emailed Anthony, and Cynthia has emailed them stuff in the past, and we bring it to him physically here, and he puts it on. Because number 13 on our agenda, future agenda items to be heard by executive committee, he allows us to put things like that. Now, if it's something like we could even have put to co-sponsor with the Derby Dolls for the, whatever, health thing, whatever. But he has put them in the past. It's no surprise, and that's how we've been doing it, so.
So the same way that people have brought motions in writing, they were not on the agenda, but they were submitted today, we put them on the agenda.
That's how he allows, that's how we allow executive officers to do it.
So this is the opportunity then for executive officers to bring forth motions to put on the agenda. These 2 items have been brought forward from an executive officer. Here we are discussing whether or not they should be put on the agenda
Correct.
for the general board
And they were
meeting.
via email and in writing today.
So in the similar fashion as of how we added the other items, these 2 items are being presented to be added to the general board meeting. So
As the executive committee.
as the executive committee, we're proposing to put these on the agenda. Here they are for the public to see. Is there any additional public comment? Yes.
I'm very happy to see that the president of this NC has allowed this big, wide door for events like this to take place. It cuts a lot of red tape and a lot of hours and a lot of discussion. It really, there's discussion on the items that are brought forward, but that's a very wide door for opportunity. That's it.
Thank you. Hugo?
Bringing forth an item by an executive member is not the same as having had a committee decide on an item to be presented for the agenda. It's very different. An executive board member is not equivalent to a committee. In order for the executive committee to take action, they have to place it on the agenda, that item, so that the public has the opportunity to see it ahead of time. The public has not had that time. Whether it's been done in the past by all these previous presidents does not make it legal, because nobody here has ever questioned it. But I'm telling you that under the Brown Act, it should have been agendized for tonight, specifically, and then you discuss it, approve it, and then request it. But you've never stated until right now for the public to look at. That's the problem.
Is there any way that your board can do what he's saying tonight so as to not violate the Brown Act? It's reasonable, I think, his statement, and I don't know how much effort you have to put into it to follow those particular steps that Mr. Pacheco has
There is a way
mentioned.
of doing it.
Yeah, you're correct. It should have been heard in a committee first and then brought here.
It's always committees first, anything,
So
always.
At this time, I don't think that we can put these on the agenda. We'll have to wait.
I think I had told you, and you said, I'm not gonna put them on the exec, I'll just bring them because we'll add them on physically that day,
Yeah.
is what I recall. Because you said item 13 will allow us to put them on.
But we had, to his defense, no one has ever brought this issue up to him, and he needs to make that determination. And no one has questioned that because it's been a practice and everybody thinks it's legal. And I'm questioning the legality of it, and I will continue at the board to question it. So you need to decide what you want to do. I don't mind, you guys do what you want to do, but I will bring it up to the board, and I will bring it up to Dunn. And I will bring it up to whoever it is, because this is not right.
Special
Let's
emergency.
correct that, please.
And the
Let's
emergency
correct
is that the fiscal year is ending and we need to spend these funds?
No, and
now,
I'll
is
tell
there
you
no
why
way
I'm a little
to
upset.
add,
That
there's
everything
nothing
that was
in the
taken away
bylaws
from
that
my
say we
committee,
can
from
add
my
an
committee,
item
and I'll say it again, public safety.
If it's a,
And now at the last minute, this because of an emergency. Whereas me trying to do something for our community, public
So we don't do
safety,
it because of them.
couldn't get it
It
done.
has to go.
Okay, so I'll bring it up, and that's exactly the argument I will use, and I got 100% the community who backed me up. Instead of putting money for public safety, we're doing this to spend money we shouldn't be spending this way.
Can the word emergency, does it fit in this?
Once
Just the
again,
word,
like I
is
said,
that
in the
proper
past, we've been doing it like
verbiage?
that. Anthony's been allowing it like that, and it's been past practice, and Empower has, obviously hasn't said anything. They know, and that's how Tom soon knows.
so we've done this like this so many times in the past,
So
and,
we're not gonna convince no one, we either vote on it already, then yes or no.
but I do also wanna avoid a grievance, so. Let's say, okay, the motion is, shall we put these two items on the agenda? Cynthia, are you ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, shall we put these two items on the agenda?
Which is number 24 and 25, right?
24, 25. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? None abstaining, myself, so 2 ayes and 1 abstention. Wait, I'm sorry. I take my abstention back. Let's go
Well,
ahead.
either way, it doesn't pass, because it has to be, does it have to be 3, no? Is it, does it have to be 3?
Yeah, because there's 5 of you.
No, it has to be 3, so whether you abstain or say no, it still didn't pass, because only 2 of us said yes. It's just how you wanna
So
vote.
hold on, let's vote on this again. All those in favor of supporting these 2 items put on the agenda, say aye.
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 Beautiful, there we go.
Three ayes. So this item has now been placed on the agenda, so it'll be on the full board agenda for next month.
Where the public gets a stab at it.
And we'll put it on there, we'll open it up to discussion. If the board decides they wanna approve it, that's fine. If they decide they don't wanna approve it because there could potentially be a grievance, then we'll let the board
The
discuss
board
that.
can decide.
The board can decide.
Beautiful.
And then the last one is for, what is it?
Gee,
The last one, that one's not till next year's fiscal year. That last one right there. That would be the last one, number 40. For it to be on the agenda as number 40.
Discussion of possible action that LA 32 fund up to $2,500 for couches at the El Sereno Senior Center for the next fiscal year. Is there a motion to move this item forward?
I motion to move it forward.
I second that, so let's move this forward. Is there any public comment on this item?
Yeah, I got a comment. And where would this funding come from? From what specific committee?
It's for next fiscal year.
Yes, from what
Right here.
committee?
1718.
CIP,
Which is?
Community improvement property, the community improvement.
Okay. Could you spell that out, please? Because it's very confusing.
Community Improvement
Project.
Project.
It's on the email I send you and everyone else on the draft.
It's not me, it's for the public. The whole thing that we do is not for us, it's for the public.
Of course, everything.
And they
I
should
want you
know
to spell it
exactly
out
what's
so they
spelled out.
understand what it is. Word for word.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Improvement
Sorry.
Project?
Oh,
And then in parentheses, just put CIP.
How did it do that? How did it do that?
it's in your indentations.
Right here. There it goes.
All right. So then, any other public comment? No other public comment, any board discussion? I think it's a great idea. Let's put it on the agenda and have it heard or get this on there so we can get this approved.
And we want it July 7th, right?
Great, okay, all those in favor
Of the order that it is, right? Do you,
of placing this in
oh, on number
order?
40. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item, all those opposed, none. Item is approved, it's on the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Do you
Wait,
wanna?
wait, before you
Do you
adjourn,
wanna
come
know,
and
do
make a
you
statement.
do you wanna review and make sure anybody wants to write down the numbers, your numbers on your agenda that will know, so you know? Do you wanna know what numbers you
No,
want?
it's gonna come out, I mean, it'll come out, right?
It'll
I
be
mean,
in the agenda paper when you get it.
If you're allowed to say something, I would like to say it again and again, and I've said it before in the past, this is not the first board. The practice is to have the 72-hour advance notice. Special is when we can't really get that 72-hour put together. An emergency is for one item that needs to be discussed. If you really want to service the community, as opposed to servicing the director's needs, 72 hours should be the minimum and should be the practice. Special and emergencies should be exceptional.
You want to chime in on that, Miguel?
No.
Okay,
Can I make
So,
a comment?
We're adjourned. Wait, you want me to?
No, before you adjourn, I want to make a comment, please.
Yes.
I want to thank the three of you. You work so well together. I cannot believe it what I'm hearing. And to add the frosting, Mr. Pacheco, the three of you and he work so well together. You accept each other's comments and all that. I don't see anything personal going around or nothing. I am so impressed by you folks, all four of you. And in particular, the three of you, because you're the senior, okay, and he's a board member. You work very well. I'm impressed. Thank you for that. The community is the winner. That's why. Impressed by what you've done here. Ooh.
Thank you.
That was our intention, was to bring it transparent, that we are doing an agenda in front of the public. And it's being recorded for that exact reason, so that the public can see they cannot be here or choose not to be here, but it's being recorded.
And I'm part of that public.
All right, thank you.
Please tune in.
All right, Michelle, did you want to add something?
no, I don't know, I hope you guys liked it like this, thought it was,
Yeah, I think it was a
because
great
now we don't
idea.
have to worry about going back and writing from our notes, transferring. It's just that ever since that meeting when, a board director, Hugo, said, why are we filling in the seat? It says vacancies, not fill-in. And that was because we were voting blindly, and the president was just kind of jotting and cutting and retyping, and accidents happen. He might have just forgotten one word, versus like this, the old business gets slapped on there immediately, and it doesn't get changed or worded or anything, you know?
Who was the president that you're talking about?
Anthony.
Yeah, that was like 2 months ago or a month ago.
Okay.
So this, I feel more comfortable now that I can vote, because I know exactly, we have a public meeting, and obviously there's public here. So I feel very comfortable that, we're voting on this, so everyone can see, and we have it recorded too.
Excellent. All
which
right.
is even better.
This is awesome.
So you're gonna save the document?
Yeah, do you have a flash drive so I can give it to you right now? Yeah, we're gonna give it to each other on flash drives. Do you have a flash drive? I think I have an extra.
Are we
one.
allowed to edit it? Because there's a lot of,
Well, we have to do that right now, we're gonna edit.
then I think we should go back and
If
do,
you wanna edit, we have to do
There's
that.
no need to
really-
do that publicly, it's just making typo.
Oh, okay.
typo corrections, making sure
Okay.
that.
Your
we're
motion
not
to
misspelling.
end has not been,
So is there a
second
motion
or-
to adjourn? Motion to adjourn,
I'll motion to adjourn.
second that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Okay, camera stop.
So when, stop the camera.
Do you have a flash drive so I can do that for you right now?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, it's gonna be a Word document that I could.
Mr. Vice